My 10-year-old son, Mason, called me in tears while I was away on a weekend business trip. He sobbed into the phone, gasping, "Dad, Aunt Brenda gave away Barnaby!" My stomach dropped instantly. Barnaby wasn't just a pet. He was a gentle rescue beagle that Mason had loved fiercely for 2 years since we lost his mother. My sister Brenda had volunteered to watch Mason for the weekend. Instead, she decided to get rid of his best friend because she claimed the dog shed too much hair for her clean house. Trembling with anger, I told Mason to stay in his room and promised I was coming straight home. I dialed Brenda immediately. When she answered, her voice was irritatingly calm. I demanded to know what she had done with Barnaby. She laughed lightly and said, "Oh, stop acting so dramatic. I rehomed him with a nice family from my office. My house is clean, and Mason will get over it." I felt sick hearing her cold words. I hung up without saying another word, cut my trip short, and drove 3 hours straight back home. When I arrived, Mason was sitting on the front porch clutching Barnaby's old red leash, his eyes swollen from crying. Brenda was inside drinking iced tea as if it were a normal Tuesday. I hugged Mason tightly and promised I would bring his dog back. When I asked Brenda for the address of the family, she crossed her arms and refused, claiming the deal was final. But I knew my sister. She always kept sensitive documents in her home office desk. While she was distracted on a phone call, I checked her desk drawer. Sure enough, the adoption transfer form and the address were right there. Without wasting a second, I jumped into my truck and drove to the address. When the homeowners opened the door, I explained the situation honestly. They looked shocked. Brenda had lied to them too, telling them that we were moving across the country and needed to surrender our dog. They had no idea Barnaby was stolen from a grieving boy. Before they could apologize, Barnaby heard my voice from the hallway and started scratching at the door, whining loudly. When they opened it, he bolted straight into my arms, wagging his tail so hard he nearly knocked me over. I handed the family cash to cover their trouble, loaded Barnaby into the truck, and headed back. When we pulled up to the house, Mason ran across the lawn and dropped to his knees, burying his face in Barnaby's soft fur. For the first time all weekend, my son smiled. Brenda came outside looking furious, demanding to know how I found him and yelling at me for undermining her authority. But I didn't yell back. Instead, I calmly delivered a consequence she never expected. For 5 years, I had managed all of Brenda's small business bookkeeping, tax filings, and client invoices entirely for free because she hated paperwork. The very next morning, I packed up every digital folder, spreadsheet, and financial account, transferred full ownership back to her, and completely locked her out of my admin systems. Within days, her business descended into absolute chaos. Missed tax deadlines, unpaid bills, and confused clients flooded her phone. She came over begging for help with paperwork. As she stood on the porch, Mason and Barnaby were relaxing happily on the living room rug inside. She looked at them, then looked at me, realizing what she lost. I handed her paperwork back unopened and told her to figure it out. A few weeks later, an envelope arrived containing cash to reimburse what I had paid the family. There was no apology letter, just the money. I used every cent of it to build a custom doghouse for Barnaby in the backyard, and Mason helped me paint it. My sister thought she was trading away a rescue dog for a cleaner living room. What she actually traded was her brother's help and her family's trust. Barnaby is older now, but every afternoon he still sits by the front door, waiting for Mason to come home. If this story touched your heart, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories.